Update, I realized my husband's family doesn't like me, and I think it's pushing us toward divorce. When I last posted, my husband was about to leave for his country for 6 months, specifically to his mother's house, to heal. I thought that distance might help us both deal with our issues, and I planned to wait until I saw him in person to discuss our divorce. But what happened before and after his trip made everything painfully clear. One afternoon, before he left, my parents invited us to lunch. He had just taken a shower, and when I asked if he wanted to join them, he got angry. He insisted that if he showered, he wouldn't leave the house. He has many rules like that. He accused me of being rude for asking, claiming it meant I wanted to go, and then he had to follow. It escalated into an argument where he called me cold and selfish. I tried to stay calm, but that only fueled his anger. He said I was apathetic and didn't care anymore. Then he made a comment that scared me, something about not seeing the point of living anymore. It wasn't direct, but it left me shaken. I had suggested therapy many times, but he always refused. The next morning, he ignored my texts and didn't respond when I knocked on the bathroom door. When I opened it, he laughed and said, "You probably thought something happened after what I said yesterday." That's when something in me broke. My worry and care had become tools for control. Did he love me, or was he mistaking love for control? Before his flight, we had another talk about his family. I expressed how uncomfortable I felt when they crossed boundaries and that I needed him to stand up for me. He assured me he would back me up, but planned to discuss it privately after the fact. That's when I realized he wasn't planning to defend me at all. He just wanted to avoid upsetting them. When he left, he wouldn't let me drive him to the airport, saying it would make things harder. I stayed home, realizing the real goodbye had already happened days before. After arriving, he told me his mom saw him at the airport looking tired and joked, "From your wife?" He shared that story like it was funny. It wasn't, but it summed up our marriage perfectly. During his first week away, we barely spoke. Then, out of nowhere, his mother, who hadn't contacted me in years, unless it was about her son, messaged me. She said she hoped I was doing well, that they were trying to move forward despite how bad things were, and that she enjoyed having me there with her son. It caught me off guard. I knew she meant it to sound kind, but it felt performative, as if she were trying to keep me emotionally connected to him through her. I didn't reply. It was the first time I realized how blurred the boundaries in that family really were. That night, he complained about me being cold and rude. I reminded him that I had asked to speak with him that week, but he insisted we talk right then. I asked for him to respect my wish to speak the next day. But he flooded me with texts and calls, saying he respected my boundaries, followed by desperate pleas for me to pick up. The next day, when I asked for a divorce, it was a difficult conversation. He refused, saying he would change. I asked him to respect my decision, and the call ended abruptly. Then he sent me a long, emotional letter filled with guilt and self-pity, claiming I had treated him poorly and controlled everything. He said he went to his country to change and be better, and I had disposed of him. The following day, he said he understood my decision, but wanted therapy to change and rebuild our relationship. He promised to set boundaries with his family and support me. I wanted to believe him. For 2 days, I did. Then he told me his brother-in-law had joked, "Oh, so now we don't have to hate her anymore," after hearing we might try again. He justified it as just a joke. I told him it wasn't funny, but he dismissed my feelings again. He also expressed frustration that I hadn't replied to his mom's message. I hadn't even mentioned that message to him, so it felt like it was all for show. The next day, he began blaming my parents, saying that for our marriage to work, I needed to spend less time with them and balance family events between his and mine. His family lives on another continent. When I suggested we make friends in our city, he said it wasn't necessary because we had each other. That's when I realized he didn't want balance. He wanted control. With these rules, I would become even more isolated. So I asked for space, not to play games, but to break the cycle of we divorce, we reconcile, we fight again. We agreed to text each other every morning just to check in. One day, he stopped texting, even when I reached out, so I decided to give him space too. Yesterday was our anniversary. He said nothing. No good morning, no message. I didn't reach out either, wanting to respect the silence we both seemed to need. To be fair, I didn't see anything to celebrate. Then today, he sent a long message filled with guilt, apologies, and emotional weight. And immediately after, he blocked me. Somehow, that silence feels like closure already. I finally understand that love isn't enough when the relationship requires you to shrink just to keep the peace. It wasn't just his family. I've discovered through therapy and conversations with friends that there were many other issues at play. By the way, someone told me after I broke the news that they always felt something was off. A day before our wedding, this friend saw my mother-in-law crying and asked if everything was okay. She replied, "It's just that my son is in love." When my friend looked where my mother-in-law was staring, she was watching us kiss. I felt disgusted by that. I also found out it was his mom who picked my engagement ring. Anyway, I may not ever recover my books and belongings since he blocked me, but luckily, I have a list of everything, and hopefully, I can get them back little by little. It's better than what would have happened if I had gone there. In December, I'll be going on the trip I had planned with one of my best friends. I'm really excited about that. It's not the amicable ending I wanted, but I definitely have peace and time to rediscover myself. Thank you for all your kind advice and support.